Hey guys, just want to talk a little bit about my HP Pre-3 cell phone. This is a legacy device, was produced by HP, but never released to the market. HP got out of the cell phone business shortly after producing this device. You know, they had the HP tablet, the HP Pre-2. They acquired Palm in 2010, early 2011. You guys remember the Palm Pre, the Palm Pixie, Palm Pre Plus? And webOs, and they acquired Palm after Palm struggled to get a foothold in the cell phone business, the smartphone business, against iPhone and Android. Came out with a great device, the Palm Pre, with webOs, which is just a phenomenal multitasking operating system that just works great. And I've been a Palm user since 2010, and we're in 2013 now, and Palm sold to HP in late 2010, early 2011, I believe it was. HP came out with a couple devices. They came out with the HP touchpad. They came out with the VR, which was a small version of the Pre, which was already pretty small. They came out, then they produced this HP3, was going to be their flagship phone, and they never released it. They ended up, after having a soft quarter of sales, after releasing the new devices with the webOs, HP really prematurely put a stop to webOs in their cell phone division and scrapped it and got out of the cell phone business. And they took webOs down with them. Unfortunately, webOs is a phenomenal operating system in a cell phone. It's the most intuitive, best multitasking smartphone operating system out there. Everybody is familiar with the iPhone and the Android operating system, and some BlackBerry stuff too. And with the right marketing and resources behind this phone, Palm really could have done a much better job getting this phone into the hands of the end user and getting it in more providers. And unfortunately, they did a horrible job. The marketing was bad. They really didn't have the resources to make a big push like iPhone. HP came along and bought them, and never really put the time into it they needed to make it successful, and they just dumped it and got out of it. And it's too bad, because it's a great operating system, and I'll show you really quickly some great stuff about the phone. Again, this is the HP Pre-3. This is a legacy device. It was produced but never officially released. It's a 1.4 gigahertz processor, dual Snapdragon processor. It's got 16 megabytes of internal storage. It's got a 5 megapixel rear camera, autofocusing with flash. It's got a front-facing camera for video conferencing. It's got the famous Palm slide-down quarterly keyboard, full physical keyboard, which works great. I love using this keyboard. 3.6-inch screen. Looks a lot like the original Palm Pre's, only quite a bit bigger. The Palm Pre was a relatively small phone. It fit in the palm of your hand very nicely, and it had the slide-out keyboard, which was a bit smaller, but still really great to use. I really enjoyed it. It was a great phone. And this phone being a little bigger is even a little more enjoyable to use, just because the screen is nicer, it's bigger, it's got 720p HD video. I'm not sure on the pics of the screen, but it's very bright and vivid. And the keyboard's a little bigger, so it's a little easier to use. I love using it. This is the Palm Touchstone charging dock. I use one in my car, obviously. This is in the car now, and I have one at home. On the desktop, I use one on the nightstand, and it charges the phone through the back of the phone, through a magneto. It magnetically sticks to the charging dock, and somehow it connects to the battery in there through a couple of electrodes, and it charges the phone great. And you can use the phone while it's on the charger. You can put it in exhibition mode and look at pictures, Facebook updates, news applications, whatever you want to program into exhibition mode, you can use while it's on the charging dock, which is kind of a nice touch. So webOs is a multitasking operating system. It's got a lot of great apps. Doesn't have thousands and thousands of apps like iPhone and Android, just because the short shelf life of it. It wasn't around long enough. There wasn't enough developers on board, and so it doesn't have all those apps. But it's got all the popular apps. So let me show you how it works real quick. Here's the Facebook app. This is my bottom launcher with the main apps I use: texting, messaging, Facebook. There's my phone app, and that's my music app. So we'll open the Facebook app. Pretty speedy. We're on the network right now. We're not on Wi-Fi, but it still works pretty quick. This is a pretty snappy phone as far as speed. So there's Facebook. We can swipe up from the bottom of the phone. Everything is a swipe gesture. So you swipe up from the bottom of the phone and you can get to your main apps again, just like that, instead of having to minimize the Facebook apps. We'll open the text messaging app, or the messaging app I should say, because it has texting, but it's also got integrated into it. It's got Google Messenger, AIM, Yahoo, also in there, so all your messages show up together with your text messages. If you're Google messaging someone or AIMing someone, those messages will show up with your text messages. So that's pretty nice too. It's all integrated together. So there we've got Facebook, there's messaging. Let's open up the launcher. This is my main launcher with most of the apps I use and like. Over here I have another launcher, I call it my music launcher. I've got all my music apps in there, my Amazon MP3, Pandora, Slacker Radio, my videos are in there, YouTube's in there, my concert apps in there. Over here I've got my news apps that I use a lot, AP News. I get up in the morning, read my news application, see what's going on in the world. So that's one of my news apps. All the apps work very nicely. They're laid out very nice on the phone. They look very nice. So I have my weather apps here. I've got a few different weather apps that I use every day. It's a horrible rainy day today, so we'll see that here. It's my main weather app that I use. So we can swipe up again from the bottom, open the music player. Here's my Amazon MP3s. Start a song. The music app works really nice too. You can scroll through all your songs. It shows pictures of the albums and that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. Minimize that and go to some different apps. You notice I got the music app playing, so here's the notification in the right hand corner, the music notes. Tells me my music app is on. Any notifications you get will show up in the right hand corner, whether it be a text message, an email, an app application message, a calendar notification, and they all stack up on the phone while it's on the touchstone charger too. So all your notifications show up very nicely too. I like that. That's a nice touch on webOS too. Here's the Instagram app. This is a third-party Instagram app. It's not an actual Instagram app, but it works very well. It looks just like a regular Instagram application. So minimize that one. Facebook web version, which I use a lot, because the Facebook app in the Palm phone is pretty nice, not that great. I like the iPhone one better, so often I'll just go to the mobile web app for Facebook and use that. That works well on the phone. There's that. Takes a second to open, because again, we are on the network. We're not in the greatest area for the network either. So there's that. Now, on the web browsing is pretty cool. This is a web-based program, webOS. It's based on web metrics like HTML and JavaScript and that stuff. So it's just like using a computer. So you can open up different web pages and have them all open at the same time, like on a Windows 8 kind of setup on a computer. Palm was doing that kind of stuff way before Windows 8 ever came out. They kind of copied it from Palm, if you want my opinion. So there's two different web browsing pages I've got open, and you can open more. Open a new card. Just hit new card. And another web page. We'll open the AOL web page. So you'll notice the web page is stacked together when you have them minimized, because it's the same type of application that's open. They're both web browser pages, so they're going to stack together because they belong together. And you can stack other things together too. Like I could take my Instagram app, stack it with my Facebook app, and so on. You can organize your different cards in different ways. I'm going to shut that off. So that's how webOS works. I mean, I could tell you a lot more about it. There's so much great synergy in the phone where things link to your calendar instantly, and all your contacts, different events you might have. Everything will link seamlessly into your calendar and into your contacts, and everything updates all on its own. Just works great. A lot of the applications that are made for webOS are made for the webOS calendar on the webOS device, so you can drop events from different applications like Yelp or Weir or the Concerts app or your sports app. You can drop those things instantly right into your calendar by hitting a button. They'll link dates into your calendar for different events, whether it be a movie from Flickster or a sporting event from your sports app or a concert. You can stick it right in your calendar and set it up to give you a notification or a reminder. It's pretty neat how all these apps work together on webOS. So yeah, and you want to close apps, you just swipe up, wipe them off the screen, and the apps are closed. So it's all swipe gestures. So it's pretty cool. It's very fun to use. And that's webOS in a nutshell. It works great. It's a great operating system. It's a shame it's no longer available. Let's hope, HP just sold webOS and the Palm rights to LG. LG makes a lot of Android phones. They're very happy with Android and Google, and they have a lot of devices running that. They are going to use webOS in some smart televisions in the very near future, so that should be very interesting to see. So webOS is still alive, and let's hope maybe LG will have some forward thinking and maybe refine webOS a little bit, get it a little more up to date, get some more app developers on board, and maybe they will release it in a new device. That would be pretty nice. I'll tell you, a strong company like LG, who is strictly, well, they're not strictly a cell phone provider. They make televisions and everything, but they're a big cell phone manufacturer, where HP really wasn't. Maybe they will come out with a webOS device and make a run with it, because I'll tell you, with the right people behind it, the right resources, and the right forward thinking, they could bring webOS right to the forefront, and it would be an iPhone killer and an Android killer. You'd use this webOS device, and I'll tell you, I have an iPhone 4S. I've had Android phones, and I always go back to my webOS phone. I just love the operating system. I love using it. It's the most fun to use, most enjoyable, simplest, easiest. Everything links. The synergy is phenomenal. I love this phone. It's great to use. It's got a lot of great features that you won't find on any other phone. And it does multitasking like no other phone out there. iPhone and Android struggle to multitask in the way that this phone multitasks. They can't do it. They just can't do it. It's a phenomenal operating system. So hey, that's my HP Pre 3. That's a quick rundown on webOS and how it works. If you get a chance to get one of these, you can find them on Amazon, you can find them on eBay, you can find the HP Pre 3s, you can find the older Pre 2s, you can even find the original Pre's for dirt cheap money. Grab one and check it out. I think you'll love it. It's a great phone. And maybe in the near future, LG will come out with a new one and make a big push, and we'll all have these webOS devices. Trust me, it's a great phone. Thanks for watching my video. That's webOS. That's my HP Pre 3.